What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad Sean, and today reactions to the classics. We're going to be doing a review of Fleet Foxes and their second studio record, Helplessness Blues. This comes courtesy of suggestion from our longtime supporter and friend of the channel, big Fleet Foxes fan, Josh. Josh, appreciate you. You already
Always,
know
Josh.
That, man.
Thank you, brother.
I know Josh said that this was his favorite record of the 2010s.
Yeah, so that's high praise, man, from Josh. He listens to a ton of music.
Yeah, so definitely a very awesome record, some heavy themes and great arrangements that we're going to get into here in a second. But before we do that, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit that big red subscribe button as well so you don't miss out on any of our videos, man. Making that push to 10K, almost there. Appreciate all of y'all. And if you'd like to maybe have us review a record or do a song reaction, you can check out our Patreon page, which is also linked down below. Enough of that talk, though. Let's go into the quick facts of this record.
Yeah, you already mentioned this. Their second studio album came out in May of 2011. Went to number 4 in the U.S., which is their highest charting record to date, unless their brand new one that just recently came out went higher. But from my research, that's what I had. It's their only record to have drummer Josh Tillman, who of course later became Father John Misty. Have a review of his stuff up, and I know Josh loves Father John Misty. So the only album he is on before he did his solo career. Also the first album to feature bass guitarist Christian Wargo and multi-instrumentalist Morgan Henderson. This one received universal acclaim from critics, going on to be nominated for Best Folk Album at the Grammys, 85 on Metacritic, Best Albums of 2011, 15 on Pitchfork, 135 on the Best Albums of the 2010, number 1 on the 75 Best Albums of 2011 by Pop Matters, and number 4 on Rolling Stone's 50 Best Albums of 2011. One of the weird stories is they actually got together way back in February of 2009. Their debut came out in 2008, and they rented a house in Seattle and rehearsed and tried to lay down some stuff. Cost the band $60,000 out of their own pocket, and it just didn't come together, so they had to push it off. And then Robin Pecknold, the lead singer, he talked about how this album came together. He writes basically everything for them. He said that this album put so much stress on his relationship with his girlfriend he'd been with 5 years, she left him.
Yeah, that was wild, man.
That was wild. But the funny thing is, well, not funny, but ironic funny is, after she heard the album, supposedly she understood it. And they got back together, but then they broke up.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things, I guess, if you hear it and it's trash, you're like, man, you didn't spend time with me working on this. But if it was good and made an impact, it's like, okay, I guess we can accept that. And Fleet Foxes, we're both familiar with their debut self-titled record.
Yes, we are. I liked it a lot.
I was only familiar with, I think, 1 or 2 tracks on here, so that was fun to dive into. And then 2020, as you mentioned earlier, Dad, they just released another record, which is really kind of a Robin Pecknold solo project, kind of just disguised as Fleet Foxes. He composed it during the old COVID time and quarantine. Very solid record, one of my favorites of this year, actually.
I haven't listened to it yet, but you're ahead of the game on that one.
Yeah, it's real nice, and I guess we can get into the record.
Yeah, well, all songs are written by Robin, arranged by Fleet Foxes. The opener sounds like something should be on an Uncle Neil Young album, but
that's right.
Montezuma, where basically he's reflecting on the fact he's probably at midlife, maybe a little later, and we all define midlife differently depending on how old we are. We keep pushing that midlife age later. I'm 49. Am I still in midlife? We'll say I am.
Hey, you'll push that 100.
I'll push that 100. That's right. So he's really just reflecting on kind of how selfish he is, how he's lived his life for himself, and at his age now, his parents already had kids and this and that, and he really has nothing besides what he's tried to accomplish for himself. It's one of my favorites on the album. What do you think of it?
Oh, it is a great opener and
great atmosphere.
There's a lot of deep topics on this record, and I mean, this starts us off, going into the deep end about selfishness, purpose is going to come up a lot, death, finding and navigating your way, growing and changing as a person. All these themes are on this record, and we start planting those seeds on Montezuma. Robin's got a very pretty voice, I guess I'd say.
I guess you'd say, yeah. I don't know how you put, yeah.
Always very, crisp, clean, and I think he conveys his emotions well. The arrangements on here are fantastic, and I will just take a quick moment to just note some of the instruments on here. And for those that say, I wish music today would play instruments, Look no further than this album, man. The amount of different instrumentation on here is insane. We got everything from an acoustic and electric guitar, piano, fiddle, mandolin, harmonium, a water harp, music box, pump organ, a harpsichord, violin, and some singing bowls. That all doesn't appear on this song, but I just wanted to put that out here just to show how you know, diverse musically Fleet Foxes can be. And I particularly like the line in here: in death or in excess, both the slave and the empress will return to the dirt, I guess naked as when they came. When we die, we're not gonna be able to take our stuff? Are we gonna be alone or surrounded by our loved ones? So I'm with you, Dad. Great way to start this off. And then we go to the next track here, which actually features that violin I was talking about. We got
Bedouin Dress. He talks of borrowing but never giving back. In the last verse, he runs into a woman in a geometric dress from his past, but says he could never forget her. In the song, Innisfree was mentioned. It was just a little island, and then Yeats wrote a poem about it. Later, John Ford made a movie called The Quiet Man that is set in the same Innisfree. The song probably references the Yeats poem, as Robin's songs have a lot of parallels with Yeats's poetry. You already said it, Trey, much more diverse instrumentally, nice backing vocals. I don't like it quite as much as the first song, but
I'd agree.
A very well-arranged song.
Yeah, and that regret's already kind of surrounding the singer. He wants to be back at Innisfree and, you know, kind of be at that peace. You know, we all, I think, have moments in our lives where we, you know, have a place or a desire that we want to go, and either if we've lived it before and thought, man, life was better then, or we've seen it and just have this vision in our mind like, oh, it'd be great to be there. So and
ironically, sometimes hearing a song that takes us back to that time can
that's
pull
true.
us there. So
no, that's a great point. And we'll keep rocking here with track 3, Sim Sala Bim. And here we're bringing in biblical allusions, talking about Delilah. I think the man here is feeling tied down in marriage, zapped of his power. One of my favorite parts of the record came at the end of the track, where there's almost like a fury in the acoustic guitar playing.
I put that solo
Did you? Okay,
acoustic all in, man. They go all in on this.
It's powerful. So instrumentally, this was a big hit for me.
Yeah, and it was interesting, the songwriting technique, because the first verse is the guy talking who appears to have maybe run out on his girl or wife, but the second verse appears to be his wife talking, the girl talking.
You're right. And a couple different tracks shift those perspectives.
And I like that. I thought that was a nice songwriting touch. Yeah, for me, I mean, it was a good tune. And we're going to go to the 4th track, Battery Kinsey.
Ooh. And this was one of my favorite tunes, actually, on the record.
Yeah, and it's a concrete fort that was built to protect Puget's sound. For me, Trey, I think a guy is reflecting on a missed opportunity with a woman. It doesn't work out for him. Pretty good. It's only 2 minutes, 44 seconds long.
Yeah, we got a tough line here. At the door, a stranger stood. The stranger's voice said nothing good. Regrets finding this man. He's kind of deteriorating, either physically, emotionally, whatever the case may be. And, you know, he just kind of goes through and delves that out through the track, man. And I like the chorus where it says, do not wander through the dawn. Kind of just that thing that helps us push through. We don't want to wander through life, wander through our dawn, because it's shorter, I think, than we all expected.
Oh yeah, it is. You wake up one day and go, wow, that went quick.
And then if you wander, you might lose the people close to you, like this guy did. So just an enjoyable, short, sweet track. And that'll take us now to The Plains/Bitter Dancer. A lot of death kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The first 2 minutes and 10 seconds have no lyrics. It kind of sets the atmosphere for it. Then you get the harmonizing lyrics in there. The last 145 switches, tons of nice harmonies.
Yeah, and it seems death personified is coming just like any other person checking into a room, getting ready to take life. We have the lyric, I should have known one day you would come. All of us walk so blind in the sun. The outro was very intricate, intricately arranged here, which again, I think just points to how great they can engineer their tracks. It definitely has that, this whole record has that like kind of chamber orchestral kind of full production sound. So especially if you're listening to this on headphones, I mean, this is one of the better produced records I've heard from the past decade. I agree. All the sounds were so crisp, clean, just and especially in those headphones, you really just feel like, oh, I'm in the studio with them.
And because of their distinct sound, it transports you definitely to a different place.
Oh,
for sure.
Definitely. So I thought, again, this was touching on the heavy topics, and it flew by at 6 minutes. And then we go to the title track next up here, which is also one of my favorites.
Mine too.
And got them quite a bit of acclaim throughout the years.
Yeah, it was recognized as one of the best songs of 2011 by almost every major publication. Basically, it's a lament of a boy who, grew up as a lot of us did, where your parents are telling you, or people are telling you how special you are, and how you're going to be exceptional. And kind of Robin reflects on that growing up in that. He said, as a white American man, kind of in a privileged environment, and what that really means when you grow up and realize I'm just, as society would define it, ordinary, and how that's okay. Because I think I encourage you, but I don't know that I ever told you you're going to do something great and exceptional. Because by the world's terms, what is great and exceptional anyway? It's all fleeting. So who cares anyway?
No, and I think that this just hit a chord, man, with a lot of what I believe too. We got to make the most of it now. I'm less concerned about leaving a legacy than impacting people, that I can actually talk to and help and encourage, or whatever the case may be, here while I'm alive, kicking.
I mean, the whole thing, Trey, really, like this whole, you can leave all the legacy you want. But
which I know people 100 years from now are watching this, going back, 100-year anniversary of Helplessness.
Going, man, these guys did leave a legacy. How ironic. But 100 years from now, nobody's going to know who you are unless your picture's hanging on the wall because you're a billionaire. Great-great-grandpa got us his money, but no one knows who you are, no one cares. Robin actually gave an interview and talked about this track. He said, I wanted that song to be a completely open opinion with no kind of poetry, if you know what I mean. It's hard to articulate without it sounding really reductive, but I was born in the 80s, a time of relative plenty in the U.S. So I felt like the, quote, individual thing was really emphasized when I was a kid, and I just don't know where that has left me. I don't want to sound too political or anything, because this is just my personal thoughts, but I guess I feel like in being a white male from America, a member of the most privileged sect on earth, I have everything that people all over the world are fighting for, and sometimes I just feel like I'm not really doing enough with that. That song is basically about that, the desire to cultivate something more than myself. I just think all of it works. I think his vocals work. I think the lyrics work. I think the instrumentation works. Yeah. It's just an absolutely fantastic song.
Yeah, and about halfway through, like, the electric guitar comes in, instrumentation ramps up, kind of gets that power going, which, again, hammers home the message. So you got to stop singing those helplessness blues and go out, seize the day now.
And do something to impact people, like you said. That was very well said. Now it's weird. We're going to go to a song that I just found it odd in here. The 7th track is the Cascades. It's just a stringed, basically instrumental. This is a strange thing for me to pop up in there. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Very intricately arranged acoustically. I wonder, this was almost, I think, almost like a palate cleanser.
I was wondering that from the seriousness of what we've gone through so far.
Yeah, from Helplessness Blues, just kind of gets us back and just, I guess, showcases the great instrumentation that Fleet Foxes can do.
Next up is Lorelei, where basically he's talking about, a failed relationship where she meant way more to him than he meant to her, and boy, that is a sucky place to be in life. I've been there a few times in my life. For me, I just wrote down on my notes, the signature Fleet Fox sound. We got the instrumentation, we got the harmonies. Sounds really good. One of my favorites.
No, Robin's voice just kind of flows effortlessly in and out of the sound that's encompassing this. And I felt bad for the guy in this track, man. And I was digging in a little bit. Some people see some melodic similarities to Dylan's 4th Time Around from
I saw that
from the great Blonde on Blonde record. And after they mentioned that, I don't know if I would have taken that out if they hadn't said, but once they said that, I was like, oh, that kind of makes some sense here. So kind of a neat little Easter egg there. But anyways, that'll take us now to Someone You'd Admire, which is again in the 2.5 range, under 3-minute song. It's shorter, but this was actually one that I thought was a highlight on the record.
Yeah, he's talking about the two sides that we all have, right? The two sides. We fight because we want to be this good person. We also have that other side that goes back to kind of the selfishism of Montezuma, where I just want what's mine and don't really care about anybody else, and just the inner struggle of that.
No, and that's the reason I enjoyed it so much. Is we all have that good and evil side within us, and he's asking in here which side's going to win out at the end of the day. So again, those themes of growing up, of maturing, of becoming the person who you truly are. I think he's highlighting here a very real thing, that not all of us mature and feed the good, and some of us obviously go down
Yeah.
the wrong path. So I enjoyed it for that. And then we get a monster track here, a little over 8 minutes long, with a bass clarinet solo.
Yes.
For our last minute. We have the shrine slash an argument in here, and you know, this is one that even Robin said it's not necessarily the most enjoyable track, but it's one of the most important tracks on this record for just how it hits emotionally.
Yeah, and I think he put it exactly the right way, because it's not one of my favorite tracks at all, and I actually think it's a little bit long, but it does have to be in here, and it is important. Yeah, Robin said in an interview, I was listening a lot to Ascension by John and Alice Coltrane. I don't have a ton of experience with that kind of music, but I would put that record on, and I liked the way it would just elicit different emotions in me. I'd have this pumped up energy, like this weird anxiety. I was really into that. The music that can be capable of producing that feeling. In the context of that song, it's like the different phases of a breakup. So I thought the music in every different section should have the appropriate emotional feeling. The beginning feels really nostalgic. There's a section in the middle that's loud and rougher, then goes into the solitary place and ends in this argument. I was just trying to capture the different phases of a breakup in the song. It also references, throws a little throwback to Innisfree from Bedouin Dress,
right,
the
yeah.
second song. So I did like that about it. What do you think?
There's a couple points in this record, yeah, where they do callbacks even to songs on this record.
Yeah.
I think from a creative standpoint, this was the most impressive song.
I agree.
Because of kind of what you were describing, Dad, there, where they shifted the moods and emotions of the track.
Yeah, because there's some very the most emotional vocals. Like Robin is kind of sings right here, not in a bad way, in a good way, but you don't feel that usually. Just that I'm all in, and you did feel it on this song.
No, yeah, there's a couple points where he almost like screams, which
the acoustic got quicker.
Yeah.
Like there's some differentiation there.
So I think that was cool how they shifted the music with how they wanted, you know, the listener to feel, or how the, you know, the main character was feeling. In the first verse, it's kind of mentioning he's dealing with life without his gal, and you know, trying to soldier on in that. And then the second verse, as we were talking earlier, shifting perspectives goes to the woman. She's leaving letters to him, and just you know, kind of putting the nail in the coffin, so to speak. And then that goes into, at the end there, just that crazy, you know, free jazz, wild clarinet solo.
Which is just a small part of the song, yet they thought it was important enough that it warranted the vaunted slash to be another part
That's
of the
right,
song,
yeah.
argument. And that came about in an interesting way. Morgan Henderson, who performed it, said in an interview that his experience composing it is one of the best of his musical life. As Robin just told him, he wanted to, quote, fill the space, and he had no prep. Trey, he just went in and laid it down. So I thought that was pretty cool.
No, definitely, man. Overall, a very epic song.
Definitely.
It's one, you know, you'd pull out and listen to outside the record. I don't know. For some of you, probably so. For me, I think it works better as a whole unit, kind of here in the record, man. But still a very, very impressive track. And then it's going to take us to Blue Spotted Tail again. A little shorter, you know, 3 minutes, especially coming off the epic tune we just.
And very chilled, man.
Yeah,
very chilled, which they kind of need to do, almost like the palate cleanser from before.
I agree, and again, kind of hits and highlights the finding one's purpose in life there. Not a favorite for me, but still, it's a solid tune.
I thought it was a solid tune too. Have a little bit of humming in there too.
That's
so
right.
We got some of everything, and we are going to finish this thing with Grown Ocean. This one, Robin's singing about his dream. Pretty good. More up tempo. Starts with drumsticks. So I thought that was nice. Nice way to end it off. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think that this was Tillman's best drumming performance on the record.
Which is good, because it's the last thing you left him with, I guess.
That's true. You had the nice harmonizing, the oohs in here and whatnot. And here he's in a dream, finally finding that love interest. Maybe he's finally found the purpose that he was so desperately searching for throughout the record. Will it change him whenever he wakes up in real life? I don't know. But I thought that this one was a fitting closer.
I just got one question for you. We'll get into, you know, you're a counselor, but I mean, finally found his purpose in life, what you're searching for. I would put to you that I think 98% of people that have this purpose or this goal, once they reach it, they realize it's not what they want. And so in your life, you never actually reach what you believe your purpose or your goal was. But anyway, that's just a little Sean 101 psychology. I don't know. But now we're going to get to our favorite tracks. For me, the first track, Montezuma. Of course, the title track, Helplessness Blues. And then Lorelei. What do you got?
I like that. I'm going Helplessness Blues. I'm going to go Battery, Kinsey. And then I got to throw, I mean, it is weird because it's not necessarily a favorite, but it's so impressive. I got to throw the Shrine / an argument.
I agree.
Some love as well. Someone you would admire, was pretty darn solid for me too, the whole duality of man. So now moving to the overall score for me, man, I'm going to be coming in really solid and high. I'm going in 8.25 on this. I thought the production was so ornate, so elegant. The whole, you know, kind of chamber music, full sound was just fantastic, and I think that Robin is the perfect vocalist for Fleet Foxes. He's able to convey moods and emotions that work well with just the acoustic instrumentation that dominates this record for the most part. So I think it's solid from start to finish.
I agree.
Touches on quite a bit of you know, great themes as well.
All right, well for me, I should have went first because I'm going to come in very close to you on your score. I'm actually going to come in at the same score as you. I'm going to come in at 8.25. I'll say a few things about this album. It's 12 tracks long, about 50 minutes. The only thing I would change, I would cut a couple tracks off, make it just a little bit shorter, but I understand they're going for, you know, not a quote theme, but pretty much it's kind of, it's a very deep record. I think with Fleet Foxes, if you've never heard it, you don't have to listen to more than 2 of their songs, at least from the first 2 albums I'm familiar. You're either going to really like them or you're not going to like them at all, because this is a distinct sound. I really like them. It's almost like a throwback sound of just like, I don't even know how to describe it.
No, it's like a modern day like folk, you know, just like indie rock, just all kind of blended.
So I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm going to be at that 8.25, but I can see that going up because this is the kind of music I would listen to and chill. I can see how Josh really likes this and why it scored so high on the end of the year and actually the decade, as you mentioned, chart. So yeah, I mean, I appreciated Josh for bringing this to us.
No, definitely, and let us know what you think of Helplessness Blues down in the comment section below, and just Fleet Foxes in general. Appreciate all the research and tidbits on this one, Dad, as always. Appreciate you, Josh, and until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and we will see you.